Hello, my friends, and welcome to another devotional connection. My studies have been all over the place today. I was kind of searching through some things, but I'm going to try to pinpoint one of the things that I was looking at that just kind of was eye opening to me again. It wasn't something new, but it was just something I was returning to. In the book of Joshua, chapter 1, there are 3 times as Joshua is taking over leadership from Moses, who has now passed away. God tells him to be strong and courageous. The second time he tells him to be strong and very courageous. The third time he tells him, have I not commanded you to be strong and courageous? This was not a request. This was not a suggestion. This was an absolute command. And whatever he had said to Joshua, he must have repeated it word for word to the people, because when Joshua was going down talking to the people about what the plan was moving forward, they repeated God's words back to him, saying, we will do whatever God commands us to do. And whatever you say that God said to do, we will do. And let us be put to death if we don't. Only be strong and courageous. The very words that God gave to Joshua were given to the people. And that's important. It was unfiltered. It was unfettered. It was direct, word for word instruction. That's a message for another time. I was sitting here today thinking, 3 times he says, be strong and courageous. Once asking him to be very courageous. That very comes in Genesis when he says it was good. And then he calls the end of the 6th day very good. He uses the same word here, be strong and courageous, and then be strong and very courageous. And I was just kind of digging into it and just looking at it. And I remembered something that I saw in Revelation chapter 21, verse 8. There was a pastor named John Hagee of a different faith, and I heard his message at a time when I needed it. And his message was talking about courage. And he was talking about the cowardly. And in Revelation 21 and 8, verse 8, you hear a list of people, a list of sins, sinful people that won't make it into heaven. Revelation 21, verse 8 says, but the cowardly, the unbelieving, the vile, the murderers, the sexually immoral, those who practice the magic arts, the idolaters, and all liars, they will be consigned to the fiery lake of burning sulfur. This is the second death. And it is a gruesome list, but cowardly is put in that list. I mean, let's just go this one more time. The unbelieving, I understand that. You don't even believe that God exists, that God is real, that Jesus died for your sins. I can understand why the consequences of your action would be the burning lake of sulfur. The vile, yeah, I understand that. The murderers, absolutely. The sexually immoral, understand that. Those who practice magic art, well, you're already in league with the demons. Why don't you go to where they're going? The idolaters, yeah, false gods, demons again, I get that. All liars, completely understand that. Ain't gonna be any lying in heaven. But cowards are put in that same list, and not in the back of the list, not in the middle of the list. They're put in the front of the list. The cowardly are the ones who lead the charge, the ones who said, God said, these ones, I'm putting these words in order on purpose, and these ones I have a problem with, big time. But the cowardly. And here he is telling Joshua, be strong and be courageous. Be strong, be very courageous. Have I not commanded you? The third time he says it. Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. It is important to understand that as followers of Christ, we are required to be courageous. We are required to be strong, not because of our own merit, strength, value, worth, but because of who he is. It is important to know God intimately. It is important to know that he comes through. It is important to write down and talk about the testimony of his working in your life. It is important to believe that not only he can, but he will. But even if he doesn't, you know who your God is, because I know him intimately. It is important to show courage to a world that needs it. It is important to show strength to a world that needs it. And not domineering, overbearing strength, but that strength that says love will not quit, love will not give up, love doesn't brag, love doesn't boast. All of the things that are listed in 1 Corinthians 13. Love endures all. If we're going to do this the way Jesus did it, if we're going to be followers of him, it is going to require of us to be strong and be courageous, because the enemy that we are facing is trying to destroy the very fabric of God's kingdom, and God will not allow it. He won't. But we're going to have to show people the long-lasting, the strength, the fervor, the endurance of love. And sometimes it isn't going to feel good. Sometimes it's going to hurt. Sometimes you're going to face what seems to be insurmountable odds. But believe in God anyway. Hope on God anyway. Pray to God anyway. Trust God through it all. Be strong and be courageous, because even in the face of an incredible foe, even in the face of monstrous situations, even in the face of dangerous tidings, there is nothing that our God can't do. There is nothing that he won't do to save his children and bring them home. The question is, as always, will we be strong and courageous and believe, despite what we feel, despite what we see, despite our circumstances, that God is who he says he is, and he will finish this. Talk to you again soon.